And we're back with the Vacuous perspective. It's me, Val. I'm joined always by Nate. And Nate
Nelson.
Mm-hmm. Nelson. Forgot about that. We need that heavily reinforced. And we're back to, talk the regular amount of shit and junk that we usually do.
Yeah, definitely. I think we got an hour and a half scheduled in. A big dump, take a big steamy dump for an hour and a half.
Now, before we started, I was saying, are we ready to go? Are we ready to go? And you said, give me a sec. Does that mean, given that I had to give you sex, S-E, C-S?
Yeah, I'm fully satisfied.
You've got a bit going on? What's going on?
I've got nothing, actually. I absolutely nothing.
So when you were having a bit of your prep moment, what was that? Just finishing off a few emails or something? What was going on there?
I was just sorting out my my computer-y things. Yeah.
Sort of move some things from my documents to somewhere else. Maybe
trying to get in the mood. Yeah. I was thinking a little bit about Easter. I've realised. Happy Easter, by the way.
Yep. Is this Zombie Jesus Day or was that yesterday?
That was yesterday.
And what's today?
Like, what are the events going forward? I don't remember why we get today off.
The events going forward are he walks around for a bit, has a chat to a few people, and then in 40-odd days or something, he goes and does the Ascension thing, right? Is that right?
Is that what happens? Are we in Lent now?
No. Lent was before, right?
Lent was before.
Easter.
I do need a breakdown. I should know. So Resurrection Day is the chocolate later. Day. That's the day, is it?
Oh, yeah. Sorry, that's Zombie Jesus Day. Yeah,
that's the day we get chocolate.
Eat chocolate on Zombie Jesus Day, please.
Why? Everybody. How does the chocolate fit into the whole scheme of things?
It doesn't. It's sort of a separation.
So the Easter Bunny has nothing to do with it.
I wouldn't have thought so.
Because we had a whole segment on Easter last year. I remember the thumbnail. There was a little Easter bunny. But I don't know anything about Easter. I've realised I still don't know anything.
Yeah, we still don't know. Even though we did this last year. It's good, isn't it?
I mean, I think it's good to – sometimes you need to do things a number of times for it to sink in.
But are you just sinking in the wrong information again? Which is, when you're just spitballing. Are we just doubling down on shitty information?
I think it was good. No, I felt like we learned a lot last time.
I just want to know what I have to do now. Now that it's happened, the resurrection has happened and he's cruising around again. But what happens next?
And I don't know why and this is a lunar holiday in that it follows the moons.
Of course it does, though.
But why aren't we still, if it's a resurrection day, why does it have to be, where there's Easter Sunday and it follows the moons and it moves around, so it's not always the same date? Why aren't we celebrating a date a bit like Christmas, where it's always the 25th?
Oh, yeah, I see.
See how it moves?
Because we're going with the moons, right?
Is that important? Was Jesus crucified on a full moon?
Yes. That's well known. It's got nothing really happening on the Wikipedia for Easter Monday. There's not much going on. It tells you whether or not it's considered a public holiday. It is in Australia. It says that a bunch of sporting events happen on this day, but nothing about important. Sort of second day.
Okay. I don't want to add more complicating factor into this, but what is Ash Wednesday? I remember an Ash Wednesday being bandied about in school.
Was that before Lent? I think what you do is you do Ash Wednesday.
First day of Lent.
And which one's the one with the pikelets? The Tuesday one? Shrove Tuesday? Look, we went to a Catholic primary and high school. We don't know what the fuck happened, do we? Really?
Ash Wednesday's 46 days before Easter.
You get an ash on your head. You get a bit of ash on your head.
Yeah, I remember that. But why? Is it a part? Is it Jesus's ashes?
No,
but is it a premonition to his ashes or something? It's in 46 days. No,
so Ash Wednesday is the first day of Lent, It marks the first day of Lent, the 6 weeks of penitence before Easter time.
And what's the ash symbolise? Or is it not important? It's not important.
Ashes are ceremonially placed on heads of Christians on Ash Wednesday, either by being sprinkled across their heads or, in English-speaking countries, more often marked on their foreheads as a visible cross. I got one of the crosses. You got one of the crosses.
Is it the mark of the beast? Yeah, you got to get... Yeah. Why even... Well, make it permanent. Get a tattoo on your head.
Get a tattoo on your head of the cross.
If you really believe...
Yes.
Get a Jesus T on your forehead.
That's what he'd love. And then the priest will say something like, remember man, that thou art dust, and to dust thou shalt return.
Is that going to be part of the test?
I think that's just it. That's just what they say when you get ashed up. Remember how, there's certain things you got to say when the priest says it, you say something back, the sort of speak and return.
Yes.
The Lord be with you. Yeah, all that stuff.
Yes.
There's also the one where where you just have to go and also with you a bunch. Making sure that the priest is covered, because I guess everything else that he's been up to hasn't covered him yet. He needs also us to give him back his own blessings.
Oh, yeah, he needs some love.
Sending out a blessing to us, and he's like, what about you guys? Do you want to bless me? He's like, of course, have some blessings. Yeah, bless.
It's a reciprocal.
Yeah, it's nice, isn't it? Yeah, great. So we still don't know about Easter.
No, maybe we'll figure it out. We might figure it out by the end of the episode. But Jesus, when you're upset and someone says, Jesus hates Christ.
Yes.
Is the H, does he have a middle name?
No,
or is the H just people just drop in a letter?
I never heard someone try to use the first. Is it Jesus H Christ? Is that what people say?
That's what people say, yeah. Jesus H Christ is an expletive interjection that often refers to the Christian religious figure of Jesus Christ. It is typically uttered in anger, surprise, or frustration, although often with humorous intent. But why H? Oh, that's a violation of the 10 Commandments. That's a big one. Do not use my name in vain. That is like it's a big...
Lord. Who's the Lord, though? Because the Lord was named in the 10 Commandments well before Jesus was around. It was in Moses' time. It's not talking about Jesus, right?
It's not talking about Jesus. No,
he's talking about his dad, who's also him, but we won't go into that right now.
I want to get the wording of the 10th commandment. Okay, so...
Thou shalt not take the Lord's name in vain, right? Or thy Lord's name in vain.
Well, it's way more complicated on Wikipedia than I thought it was. The 10 Commandments. There's all these like references. I think they're trying to pull them out of the Bible. Aren't they supposed to just be documented on the tablets, Moses' tablets?
They don't have the tablets.
Oh, yeah.
The contents of the tablets were put into the Hebrew Bible.
And they're in the Ark of the Covenant.
Yeah.
Right, aren't they?
Which everybody knows where that is.
Got Somalia, or where is it? Where's it rumored to be? Where's
Ethiopia?
Ethiopia, that's right. So where can I get some language about these commandments?
What do you mean?
I want the actual wording.
Surely you can get the 10 Commandments. I mean, it's 2024. The 10 Commandments should be easy mode. How many do you actually remember?
Well, I'm having a look at them now, but I'm just really confused about what's going on in this 10 Commandments list. There's more than 10 on Wikipedia.
No.
Yeah, this is...
No, because they're called the 10. They're not called the 10 plus the other commandments.
Well,
I need to look at the same page as you.
Yeah, I'm like, because the first, there's ones, twos, like, what?
Oh, okay. So in different books or different things, they're listed as either different numbers or different things. So which one do you want? Do you want Catholicism? Because that's what we did.
Oh,
So you hover
okay.
that. So we're looking at the Catholicism line. So it's, I am the Lord thy God. This is commandment 1. Thou shalt have no other gods before me.
Well,
Thou shalt
that's 1A.
not make unto thee any graven images.
So there's 3 limbs to the first commandment.
Yes.
I see. So 1A, I think 1A is I am the Lord thy God. 1B.
1B is thou shalt not have any other gods before me. 1C, no graven images. This says graven on this page, but I thought it was craven.
Graven?
No, I'm pretty sure it was when I was younger. Maybe those words are interchangeable. Number 2.
Or it could be...
No taking the name of the Lord thy God in vain. I think you're in the clear.
That's the one I was thinking of. But that is the third in Talmud, Reformed Christianity, Filio, and Septagit.
Yeah, but that's because they have not separated the 1A, B, and C clauses. Because, sorry, it's more like 1A,
Moses.
1B. They've just done them as separate commandments.
Okay, here we go. Thou shalt not make... Oh, no. I clicked the link. Okay. Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, it's the second or third of God's 10 commandments, depending on who you're following. Developed a taboo of pronouncing the name Yahweh. It's complex, isn't it? There's a lot.
Not really.
Even this second commandment
They were written well before Jesus was around. I reckon this is pretty cut and dry. It's not about Jesus. You can say Jesus. Jesus,
H, Christ. Okay, so now the H. Oh, so it's Mark Twain. Of course, it all comes back to Mark Twain. So the earliest use of the phrase is unknown, but Mark Twain observed that it was in general use even in his childhood. So he was the first one to kind of, I guess, document
Is this
its
happening
use.
at your place? It's happening at my place.
It's an American profanity. It reminds me of the Homer J. Simpson.
Yeah. What does the J stand for? Yeah.
It's a good episode.
It is.
But how do you... Because J in Homer J. Simpson is just the letters J-A-Y. So obviously pronounced the same. Yeah, exactly. How do you spell the letter H in a word? If you were going to... Do you know what I'm saying? So
Not
if you're
really.
going to phonetically write the letter J, you write it as J-A-Y. And
yes.
You'd read it and you'd say, how do you pronounce this letter? And then you'd write it out, J-A-Y, and you'd say, that's J. And you know how to say it.
Yeah, easy.
How do you spell H?
Well, wouldn't you do something like A-Y-C-H?
Yeah, okay. I like that. Yeah.
If you're doing it phonetically.
Good. Yeah.
Speaking of The Simpsons, I just had a jingle in my head and I thought, maybe this will be fun to learn on guitar. Turns out it's actually really difficult to learn on guitar. It's the Lisa, it's your birthday. Happy birthday, Lisa. Right? The Michael Jackson episode. Yeah. Did a bit of digging. He didn't actually sing on that because of contractual disputes. He's not allowed to, well, not a contractual disputes, but he's not allowed to sing in The Simpsons. So it was actually someone else singing. Because I was talking to a friend of mine where he was like, "No, you got to put." Okay, so you got to put that. He said you got to put that in the bin because it's Michael Jackson. It's Michael Jackson. I sort of was trying to circumnavigate that and go, no, because he's not singing it. It's just some guy who's
pretending to be him. Yeah, that's totally okay now.
Then I'm
totally okay.
I felt okay about it, and turns out Disney and the people over at Disney do give a fuck. You can't get that episode. It's season 3, episode 1. It doesn't exist on Disney Plus. I was bummed. Can't see it. Can't watch it.
So all the other dialogue's done by Michael Jackson?
Yeah, it is. But that episode has been... They took the episode out. They got rid of the episode.
Can't watch it. I've got it on my hard drive.
Lisa, it's your birthday. Yeah, a great song.
Bart's on the bongos.
Yeah. Good
Did
episode.
Did they have to
It's a
scrap
nice
that?
episode, isn't it?
Yeah. Someone
Is
told me.
it a nice episode?
I'm sure it's good. He didn't do anything untoward in the episode.
In the episode? Well, it's not even him. It's just some big bloke. It's just some deranged mental hospital guy.
Yeah, he was lovely. I remember him being lovely.
He could sound like Michael Jackson, do a moonwalk and all that sort of stuff.
Someone told me that the Simpsons predicted something else the other day.
Yeah, they keep doing that, don't they? Well, we've talked about that, right? Because it's not that they're predicting stuff. It's just that they're really smart and they're futurists.
Mm.
They're thinking about the future.
Almost things are inevitable to them.
Some things are going to be big hits.
This is it. I don't know if this is true, but apparently Cypress Hill is performing with the London Symphony Orchestra. That was in a 1996 episode of The Simpsons.
Well, how do they know it's a prediction and not a product of where people said, hey, did you see that episode of The Simpsons where Cypress Hill played with the symphony orchestra? And they said that was hilarious. They should do that. And then they got a bit of traction and they said, man, people think we should do this. Let's do it. And they do it. So
totally. They've got it all wrong, don't they? The Simpsons are planting the seed.
Yeah, planting seeds. We should try and get on an episode of The Simpsons.
So what else has The Simpsons said that hasn't happened yet? Because you can bank on that happening.
I can't remember how they did the Donald Trump prediction. I think it was a future episode where they peek into the future when they had the Donald Trump coming down the escalator shot, which when you watch it side by side with the actual footage of Donald Trump coming down the escalator, it's so scary how close the angle is. It looks almost like it can't be real. And this is all a Truman Show. Yeah. It's hilarious.
I'll have to check that out. So
yeah.
So Cypress Hill are performing with the London Symphony Orchestra on the 10th of July of this year at Royal Albert Hall.
That's the big one, right? Yeah.
Where's that, do you think?
I think it's in London.
The picture of this looks amazing. It is a skull with a spear going through the top and the bottom of it. It's a skull just with the top jawbone. And the cranium of the skull looks like, I assume that's Royal Albert Hall, a beautiful round domed building. And there is a cello bow going through the eyeballs of the skull.
Where's the skull, though? Where are you seeing a skull?
Yeah,
is this just a poster for the event?
I think so. I'll just send it to you in pictures. That's pretty cool. And so 28 years after The Simpsons made the joke, Cypress Hill are now finally set to share a stage with the London Symphony Orchestra, performing a special rendition of the hip-hop collective's Reverend album Black Sunday, as well as other hits. So in 96, one of the most watched TV shows in the world, The Simpsons, joked that Cypress Hill had accidentally booked a gig with the London Symphony Orchestra while under the influence. Now the running joke that has turned into countless hopeful moments for fans of Cypress Hill and The Simpsons is becoming an exciting dynamic reality. Man, this thing will be totally sold out in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
It's a 41-piece orchestra.
Funny. It's just funny. Good on them.
So songs include Insane in the Brain, remember that one, and I Want to Get High.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that'll be classic. So something that did happen last week.
Yeah.
That bridge in Baltimore fell into the river.
Yeah. Yeah, what was it?
It's like a
boat?
Shipping container. Yeah.
Lost
a container
power.
ship. Yep.
Yeah.
It struck one of the support areas and a bunch of the bridge came down.
I hear that the emergency services of the police did stop traffic onto the bridge about 2 minutes before it happened. So a pretty quick response. I think it could have been worse in terms of...
So they got notified that the ship had lost power and that it was just heading on its own, just drifting around. And so they did close the bridge on both sides. There were still cars on the bridge, but they were maintenance workers, I think. And I think between 6 or 8 of them died.
Yeah.
It was quite a long road, but yeah, I don't know how they didn't get a call to say, hey, bounce ski, time to leave the bridge.
Yeah. I mean, the traffic would have been drying up on the bridge as well. It's quite unusual.
But if you're there, right, and you're thinking, oh, this boat's... Are you scared of this? You know what I mean? Like,
a boat crashing into a bridge?
Yeah, so it's to some extent you just feel like, this happens. Surely this happens all the time.
You would just assume that it's fine. You don't think
it's fine, but you see how it just immediately, and we've got footage of it, obviously. So
yeah,
pretty wild stuff. I was, and the other contributing factor to why there wasn't so many lives lost, because a lot of people do use that bridge, is that because I think it was 1:30 in the morning.
Oh, okay, that's lucky.
So a couple of factors that resulted in probably a lot less actual lives lost. And you notice the next day, the boat's still there. Boat's fine. Bridge fucked.
Yeah, just plowed through one of the supports. You don't see bridges come down very often at all, do you?
No.
It reminds me of when I was in my physics class and learning about resonance. There's been some bridges built before that resonate with certain frequencies of wind rubbing against it, and that resonance starts to create a wave in the bridge.
Yeah,
have you seen
bridges
I've seen a wavy wobbling?
Bridge.
That stuff is wild because the bridges are built with a fair bit of flex in them to allow for expansion and contraction. So it's almost like there's almost joints built into the bridge to allow movement, but they're not expected. It's wild scenes. I was just having a quick look at a couple of things on
it made me want to look into bridges a little bit, like longest bridges, how they go, because this was a pretty long bridge.
Oh, decent, but I don't think it's anywhere near the scale of some of the bridges in the world. Those bridges around Florida Keys are pretty big.
Really?
Yeah, southern Florida connecting islands. I think they're like hundreds of kilometers long. I've always wanted to get a convertible and drive Florida Keys.
Wow. So
don't know much about them.
Here's one in China that is 164.8 kilometer long high-speed railway, longest bridge in the world.
Oh, is that 164K? Geez, that's here to Bunbury. Yeah. Why do they feel the need to? I wonder where exactly is that going?
Between Shanghai and Nanjing in Jiangsu province. I don't know why. It's not like it's going over a river for 169 kilometers.
Oh, no. Is it just raised? Yeah, I can see the river crossing looks quite... It's only a kilometre. But what, does the bridge is it elevated? What?
I think they've just got longest bridge in the world because of this thing.
Yeah.
Because technically but it looks like just a road.
There
is a 9 kilometre long section over water. How does that work? Oh. It's a 9 kilometre section over water. Right here.
Norway has some mad bridges. Because Norway has that really jagged coastline. And they talk about it being one of the biggest infrastructure projects in the world. They're trying to create a highway that goes through all the mountains and over all the fjords. The fjords are those glacial carved inlets.
Yeah. Yeah. That'll be good, right? Well, what happens then? You can chuck some trains in.
Yeah, efficiency just goes, skyrockets because people can get from A to B. I don't know what they're doing. They're probably, moving minerals, just Uber Eatsing things around.
Yep. We need that. Sped up, obviously.
I mean, there are people in northern Norway that need Uber Eats too.
Uh-huh. Yeah, donuts and whatnot. Anything else happened? I don't know much else that happened.
Oh,
Watched the Eagles get pumped yesterday.
Oh, shit. I didn't watch it, but I heard about it. It's funny how my expectations have lowered over the last few years. Okay. Well, what do you count as a win now for the Eagles?
Yeah, exactly. That's what we were talking about before, where it's like, oh, they might get 3 wins. Do you want to spend them all now at the start of the season, or do you want to get some nice little late wins late in the season? I don't know.
I'm not even confident about the 3 wins right now. And I don't. My wife asked me the other day. She said, "Oh, the Eagles going to win a game." I said, "Of course they're going to win a game. Like, yeah, they'll win it. You just don't know."
Well,
yeah.
Oscar Allen's out for 3 or 4 weeks still.
I think a bit more, is it? Or is it 3 or 4? Yeah, I know it's decent. It's a decent break. I heard it could be 7 or 8, but that was maybe a week ago.
Yeah, right. That would have been brutal.
But he's only one guy. We've otherwise got a pretty full complement. He's a VIP of the Eagles. In terms of important players, he probably is the most important. But he's not going to kick 70 points off his own boot.
No. Or create 70 points. Yeah, you're right.
Because a top 4 finish used to always be my expectation.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so top 4 obviously is just
make
a pipe
finals
dream.
Is the normal. Make finals.
Yeah, finals is standard, and that was at minimum. You'd be like, oh, of course we want to play finals, but
finals, yeah.
Okay, now then it went from we should win this game.
Right.
I haven't thought that for a long, long time. Like at home, they pay over $9 for a win at home. It used to be the Fortress. Now, I hope, not even now, then I became, I hope we win this game. But now I've lost hope. I don't even hope we win a game.
What happens now?
I hope we win a quarter.
Right.
We've had a couple of good first quarters this year. I think we haven't been up. But we haven't lost by much. Anything under 100 points is a win.
You just want to watch a quarter or two and do well in those quarters.
Well, yesterday's game, I only watched the highlights of the first quarter, and that was enough for me.
Yeah.
I saw the Eagles kick a goal or two.
Yeah, nice.
I saw them concede a goal or two. It reminded me of a time when the Eagles were competitive. And then, and I didn't see any Harley Reid highlights. That's the other thing. So I hope for less than a 100-point loss. I hope for maybe a couple nice Harley Reid moments.
Yeah, that's what I like as well. That's what I like to see.
And that's a win. So 70 points.
Didn't he hit a guy?
Oh, did he?
Or no, he ran into him on the boundary and gave him one.
Is this against the Bulldogs?
Knocked him over. Yeah, it was against the Bulldogs.
He loves knocking people over. He's almost...
Okay, try and see if you can find it. I'll see if I can describe it. He just comes out of nowhere. They're on the boundary. Ball's gone out. Clips him. Knocks him down. And the commentators make this point of like, did you see that? Harley Reid went over there and just butched him. And I think it was one of their big guns. Have you found it?
And sorry, was this against the Bulldogs?
It was, yeah. It was just it was yesterday.
I haven't seen it.
All right. I'll see if I can find it. I was watching the live game, so maybe it's not in any of the highlight reels.
They're looking... I've seen a moment where he ran through... It was 13 days ago, though, this video. There's a lot of Harley Reid material, actually.
Yeah.
Considering he's only played 3 games. I saw he didn't do that much. I think he had like 12 possessions or something. But when he does get the ball, they are exciting.
Yeah, it is exciting. But yeah, so Eagles getting pumped.
Yeah, unfortunately, I know. And so, yeah, as I said, I'm trying to explain to the wife how they'll win a game, but I don't know if I believe it in my heart of hearts. They've looked quite uncompetitive.
We can beat someone.
Maybe
someone's got to be like as shit as us on a given day.
Last year we beat Collingwood. They went on to win the premiership.
Really?
Yeah, in game round 3 or 4.
That's a joke, isn't it?
We beat Collingwood at the G.
No.
We did.
That's disgusting. We beat the premiership team at the place you need to win it. And then what?
And then they lost the rest of the games probably.
How many games did we win last season?
2.
2. So 3 really is a win. It's a big increase. It's like a 30% increase.
Oh, they won 3. They still finished bottom of the ladder.
All right, so we need to get 4 then. You know, if you're looking at a graph, I just need to see a bit of an uptick. So 4. Let's get crazy. 5. Let's get crazy. Let's get excited about the Eagles again. 5 wins this season. Minimum.
I'm trying to find... wait, am I wrong about the Eagles beating Collingwood last year?
Oh, can't find that?
Don't tell me I'm wrong.
No. Just go with it.
Yeah, no, let's not look
at it. In.
Was it the year before?
It could have been the year before. We don't know. We haven't really done the research.
Oh, shit, it was 2022. Okay, no, it was... I think I'm conflating bad years. They've just been so shit for so long.
Yeah, you've just put them all together. No, that's fair enough.
They beat Collingwood in the G 2020, April 2022. Damn.
Right, take it back.
I take it back. I do. So there's a lander. This isn't really news, but I just thought it would be nice to mention it because we always mention these things and we don't follow them up. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, well, that happens. Yeah,
we put a lot of things out there.
Yeah. And we don't always come back to it. No.
But there was a couple landers that went up to the moon not so long ago, earlier this year, in fact.
What were they doing?
Oh, fuck, who knows? I mean,
Just trying to get on the thing?
That was a big part of it. Their primary mission was trying to land in a precise location.
Which is the bottom, the South Pole.
The South Pole. Yeah, and so there's the SLIM lunar lander, which was the Japanese one, and that SLIM stands for Smart Lander for Investigating the Moon.
And it was pretty smart, wasn't it?
Well, it was smart in the sense that it did land where it wanted to, but it didn't land in the correct orientation. Yeah, it sort of flipped. Yeah. So that one has survived 2 lunar nights. It's still kicking.
What do you mean? Wasn't it ages ago?
That landed 19th of Jan.
So it's been there for ages.
Yeah, but the lunar nights are basically a month.
Right.
So, a lunar day is a month. So it's 15 days of light, 15 days of dark. So let's say 30 days.
So what's it doing now?
Well, it's just flopping around and collecting sunlight, and some of its bits and pieces have malfunctioned, but they're still sending it can still send and receive information. So I don't think it's doing a whole lot.
You can probably play Tetris or something. Maybe even Doom these days. You'd be surprised what you can play Doom on.
Yeah, I mean, it may be playing computer games from the moon.
Which needs to happen.
I just need to check because I think Slim went up with some little figurines on it.
What, people?
I think it had like, I don't know how to...
Mannequins?
Like Warhammer or something like that.
No. Why?
I don't know. I think some artist, I think it sent up the first art that's ever been to the moon. I'll have to find out about this. Sorry, just give me...
Why the hell would there be this random art on the moon?
Because no one's done it yet, so you want to be the first one.
Right, chuck it in.
So it's been snapping some photos. First art.
Slim has.
I might be confusing my lunar landers. I had been reading about this. Jeff Koons sculpture becomes the first authorized artwork on the moon.
Authorized? What do you mean authorized? Authorized by whom?
Oh, don't make me have an account. Okay, Jeff Koons. We know who it is, so we can now find out about it. The work is titled Moon Phases. Let's find out what this is. Jeff
He landed
Koons.
on the moon. Is it there now?
It's there right now. I think it was inside the lander.
Right. You can just chuck it anywhere.
Okay, so this was on the Intuitive Machines lander. And so now the Intuitive Machines lander is the one that went up. This was the first American craft to go up since the 72 Apollo 17 lander.
To go up on the thing. To get up on the thing.
To get up on the thing. To get up there.
Did they get up on the thing?
Yeah, they got there, but that one went into the lunar night. This is Odie. So this is I think it's called Odie. Odysseus is the moon lander, and they call it Odie for short. And this was created by Intuitive Machines, who I think is a Houston-based company. And that touched down a month after Slim, and that was the first ever privately owned spacecraft to land on the moon.
Authorized.
That one is authorized. And it has Jeff Koons' artwork on there.
Obviously.
So this is the authorized stuff. So I'm on his website at the moment. It's so wanky. Just show us the artwork, mate. One artwork, 3 components. Mate, you don't expect me to read all this shit. Well, it's a pretty cool website. Check out this. Now, the more I'm getting into it, the more I'm sort of hating on it, but also liking it.
Were you impressed?
Have a quick scroll of that. Oh, here we go. So what it is a bunch of balls. So the lunar moon phases sculptures are about 1 inch in diameter, and they'll be displayed on the moon's surface in perpetuity in a sustainably built, fully transparent, compartmentalized cube.
Cubit.
Are we, what, for what purpose?
Yeah.
Oh, they also have NFTs. The moon phases NFTs correspond with the sculptures on the moon and the earth. These digital works each feature an image of the sculptures installed on the moon's surface.
Yeah. You can get one of them.
That. You can get one of those if you want. I don't know what they're priced at. I mean, if they want to sponsor the show, I'll say some nice things about them.
Have you seen the sculpture? It's just a bunch of balls in a box. Kind of looks like an expensive sort of chocolates collection. Sort of like a Ferrero Rocher affair. You seen that?
Yeah.
That's what's on the moon in a little box where if we go there, because I assume that we will probably go there.
You reckon we'll check it out in person one day?
It'll be one of those things that you stop and have a look at, for sure.
So if you go right to the bottom, then
like what else is there to do on the moon? Skiing, I guess. You can do a bit of skiing.
It's a fancy website. So if you go right to the bottom, it says Explore Jeff Koons' Moon Phases.
Yeah.
Then there's a grid, but you can also click the list of the moons. If you click the list, each of the moons is associated with a name. Like there's Alexander the Great,
wow.
Jane Austen.
Oh, Rosa Parks.
Michelangelo,
okay.
Genghis Khan. So I was going to click the Genghis Khan one. What does this mean? Why? So each phase of the moon is... Oh, there's information. Okay. Moon phase, Genghis Khan, 2023, is one of 125 unique moon phase, which consists of 3 components. A sculpture that will be installed on the moon in perpetuity, a sculpture that will stay on the earth, and an NFT that corresponds with the unique moon phase. This is a fucking load of shit. What the hell is this? Genghis Khan and the other individuals chosen made a tremendous impact, contribution, or found to be poetic within the group and collectively represent the limitless potential of humanity. Genghis Khan?
Yeah, so it's basically the same thing for I just clicked on a random one called Atom, and it was exactly word for word what you just said, but replaced with the word Atom and the other individuals chosen to make a tremendous impact, contribution, or were found to be poetic within the group and collectively represent the limitless potential of humanity. What's your precious stone?
Blue sapphire. Blue
yeah,
sapphire.
I got a white diamond for Atom. Now, when they say Atom, was the guy that discovered the atom, was his name Atom?
No, atom is a Greek word that means indivisible or something like that,
So,
or smallest unit.
What does that mean? Why did it get selected for a moon phase? Everyone else seems to be a person. There's no one that's just maths, is there? Anyway, there quite possibly is. But Michelangelo's got a kick. Aristotle's got a kick. Napoleon's got a kick. Bach, Descartes. But Atom.
Well, where's Nate Nelson? Can he get on the moon? Where's my moon phase?
Well, is Horatio
there? Yeah.
I mean, he's a bit of a big deal.
He's the 9th most important Englishman to have ever existed.
Look, Jesus got it, and Elizabeth I.
Oh, Jesus got a moon phase, please.
I want to see the list.
Muhammad Ali, Apollo, Churchill, Van Gogh, Nefrititi.
Yeah.
Do you know much about Nefrititi?
She was a pharaoh.
Or the wife of a pharaoh. I don't even think she was even a pharaoh, man.
She's a pretty big deal, though.
She's a huge deal. She was the wife of the pharaoh that went off the rails and started worshipping one god.
Akenhaten?
Yes.
Yeah, Akers.
And then he changed his name to something to just represent like the one god or something. So he started monotheistic religion before it was cool.
He did. It was the first monotheistic religion. Up until then, they had a god for this and a god for that. That was pretty much the standard. But yeah, you're right.
So Nefrititi, though, what was really interesting I think you would froth on, some of the conspiracy theories that come out of Akenhaten and Nefrititi. Because Nefrititi is always depicted wearing a really long hat. And some people think that she was an alien.
Yeah.
Because the Egyptians...
Long hat, alien.
Yeah, like there's something... Like she's got an elongated dome head or something that she's always hiding with this long hat.
Yes.
And
what's wrong with that?
Nothing's wrong with it. It's pretty cool. But she's not... They started a whole new type of art as well. So in their artwork... So the Egyptians before Akenhaten... They love depicting things correctly, truthfully. It was important
to an extent. Yes.
To make things. So I've lost trying to find
sort
you. There
of,
you are.
Sort of. In some ways, yes. When they were doing a statue of them, yes. When they were drawing them from the side profile, I've read a lot of different things about this, but one of the things that I've read recently is that. The reason why you would depict the profile of a person rather than a front on is you get to sort of like pick the features. You only need to see one eye. You know they've got two eyes. Let's see. They want the essence of the person in the image, just the essence. But then you have like those jade sculptures or whatever they're made out of. What is it? Diorite statues made out of some pharaoh, and they're incredibly accurate.
And they're front on. Some of them are front on.
Of course, they're front on. Yeah. In a statue, you can walk around a statue.
But with Akenhaten, he started a new form of art where they started distending things like their legs would be ginormous or short, almost
so
like Salvador Dali. Well, no, but they really changed the game for a short amount of time, and they started a new religion. They sort of took I think all the priests that were in situ were pretty upset about the big change.
Yeah. But just quickly, sorry, Akenhaten, when you look at his depictions, both in stone and pictorially, he's the most Stargate-looking one of the lot of them.
Give us a look at your screen.
All right, I'm bringing it up. It's on the main. So just Akenhaten, for those playing at home, it looks exactly like Stargate Ra. Let's get me some of this.
He's
right.
got a distended chin in some of the photos.
See this?
Yeah.
And see this. And this.
Yeah. Mm.
They're in very good nick, these ones, from his period. Fantastic, though. But definitely the one that I reckon inspired Stargate the most.
Oh, well, so many conspiracy theories and other things have spun off him. He did. One day I'll look into exactly what he did. But Nefrititi, if that's the one that they're referring to in that moon phases artwork, it's interesting that she got one, because I'm pretty sure she wasn't actually a pharaoh, but she was just very well known because she was the wife of this almost insane pharaoh. And so,
yes.
Yeah, Nefrititi was the queen of the 18th dynasty of ancient Egypt, the great royal wife of Pharaoh Akenhaten. Nefrititi and her husband were known for their radical overhaul of state religious policy, in which they promoted the earliest known form of monotheism, Atenism, centered on the sun disk and its direct connection to the royal household.
Here's your sun disk.
I'm totally on board with this monotheistic sun worship, hey?
But remember in Stargate, you've got Ra, and he's depicted as having the sun disk behind his head as a sort of headdress piece. It's on my screen right now.
Oh, yes. Is that how he's depicted in Stargate? Yeah, that's classic Egyptian stuff, that.
Of course, but that's the idea of Stargate, is that they kind of
I didn't realize
the people there to work for them, then they buried the gate on their side to sort of like separate themselves from the enslavers. They revolted or whatever. But in SG1, when SG1 starts popping up, I mean, the other gods from other systems are just rolling in on foot. You know, the space equivalent of on foot, where they just come in a big mothership and start trying to pop off with Earth, like Apophis level threats. They usually come by just a very long space boat ride. But no.
So it's a matter of debate whether she actually ruled as a pharaoh or not. Yeah. It says if she did, it wasn't. The problem is she was very unpopular because she changed the religion. All the depictions of her got defaced, and the city that Akhenaten started, he started a new capital of Egypt. Yeah, he overthrew the whole thing. That got absolutely demolished brick by brick.
Brilliant. Yeah. So it didn't last very long. What happened afterwards religiously, though? They went back to being polytheistic?
Yes, I believe so. Whatever they were doing before, whatever they believed in.
Yeah.
But her and Nefrititi and Akenhaten, they reigned at what was arguably the wealthiest period of ancient Egyptian history. So they were doing pretty well. Obviously, that was all inherited.
Yeah. But it was going fine.
Now, I've always meant to look into her history and some of the cool conspiracy theories that come from her life.
Well, there'll be both of them.
Yes, both of them, definitely.
Yeah.
And I don't remember why there's so much interest, but it's apparently one of the most, when you're looking at ancient Egypt, that is one of the coolest things culturally to look into, is this shift in religion and art and capital and a whole bunch of other things, because Tutankhamun is Akhenaten's son.
Yeah, so it's right. I was going to ask where he sits in the whole grand scheme of things in terms of when he was around. And it was around 1353 BC.
Yes.
Okay.
But so Tutankhamun, Tutankhamun was born to a different name, and it had like the sun worship name at the end of it. I think it's Tutankhamun. I can't. Anyway, it's because he had to change his name because there was so much public pressure that the last part of his name, like Akenhaten. Yes. It
so
couldn't be like
Tutankhamun.
Yes. I think it was Tutankhaten after Akenhaten, and the Aten is referring to the sun disk. So he then, because of all the pressure of all the priests and everything, and they basically ruled his father being just an insane madman, that to keep power, he had to go back to the old religion and sort of renounce what his father had done and became Tutankhamun.
Rough.
And Tutankhamun wasn't a important pharaoh in Egypt. The only reason why he's well known to us is he had the only unmolested tomb that made it to modern days intact. If that tomb had also been destroyed, that wouldn't be a common household name. Like, no one would give a fuck. Of course, there's been hundreds of pharaohs over the 3,000 years, 4,000 years.
It's in the Valley of the Kings, right? So
yeah, and it's a small tomb as well.
They didn't get it.
Yeah,
small tomb, but we've seen some of those treasures, right? It's quite immense, really.
Oh yeah, and so he wasn't even important. He had a small tomb. That's one reason why it wasn't located, and it was also the entry was just offset a little bit from another one. So because they found a tomb there, I think typically the tombs were kind of spread out a little bit, where his entrance was almost below one they had already found, and so they just didn't think they were going to put two in the same area. Do you know, when I went to Egypt, I could have gone to Tutankhamun's tomb, and I elected not to, because there was 3 tombs in the Valley of the Kings. They had 3 tombs that were, you buy one ticket, and your ticket will give you entrance to the 3 tombs that are open to the public. There's about 26 or 28 of them, but they're all in various states of restoration. So they had 3 open to the public, and they say, if you buy our general ticket, you can go to these 3.
Brilliant.
Then there's another 3 that are open that are optional extras, and they cost additional money for each one of these, and it's quite significant in Egyptian dollars, but not in Australian dollars. It'll be, I think, one of the tombs, the Seti one, I went to see. That is one of the most elaborate, biggest, beautiful tombs of the whole Valley of the Kings. I think I paid about 90 Australian dollars to go in there, which is a lot of money in Egypt.
That is a lot of money. What do you mean big, like grand?
It
tall?
was so the descending passage went for about, I'm guessing, I would have said 100 meters, but maybe it's 80 meters. And there's art. It's quite big. It's about 2 or 3 meters wide, 2 meters high.
It's got some art, does it?
Oh, does it have some art? Holy shit. Yeah, get it up.
Yeah.
So it's got different rooms on the way down. So there's about 3 chambers, and the last one is the burial chamber.
Yeah.
And there's pretty pillars. Good. Yeah, there's pillars in each of the chambers, and they're depicting the afterlife. You know, they're depicting the god with Osiris, you know, copping, I don't know, everlasting life. And what's interesting about the Seti 1 tomb actually is one of the rooms in one of the chambers that just kind of goes off to the side has an unfinished room in it. So you can see how they do the artwork, because it's that one at the top that sort of comes off by itself. And it doesn't really, that little depiction of it doesn't really show it very well. But because once the pharaoh dies, they've got 30, there's some process where you've got 30 days of embalming, and then we're going to bury this sucker.
Yeah. So you have a bit of
So you got 30 days grace. So that thing would have been complete. I think Seti 1 died. He was Ramses II's dad, who's the most well-known pharaoh of probably all of Egypt. So Seti 1 was a pretty big deal.
Big deal, yeah.
He died unexpectedly. I don't know why. And his tomb hadn't been fully completed. And so that just would have been a beehive of activity of artists and stuff trying to finish off this tomb.
Right.
And
They had not enough time.
so there's one room that's in various states of, you can see one of them, nothing's been carved out of the wall. It's a flat wall, but there's black lines that
like this one?
No,
Where they've started the outline, but they haven't coloured it in, sort of thing.
No, it's not quite that. I took pictures of it, and I'll maybe I'll get it to you. But yeah, there's like black lines. It's the outline of those people, right? For imagine someone was doing a sketch where it's just black, and then a more senior artist comes along and does corrections with a red, texture or something, whatever they use. Yeah, that's more like it. With the black outline, you can't see the red on there. And they haven't started chipping into the wall yet or doing any of the colouring and things like that. But it's interesting seeing an unfinished room because you can see the process of what they were doing.
That's interesting.
And then the final burial chamber is like really high. It's probably 5 meters high. And all the roof is covered in, depictions of afterlife.
Is this the roof?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, fantastic.
It's actually incredible when you look at it and you just think, holy moly! So that one's expensive.
And you sort of said in the past that because they went to all this trouble, maybe there's something to this. You were saying that they knew a lot of stuff. They knew about sort of where they were in the world, in the solar system. They knew about. They were pretty good engineers. They were pretty smart people. Pretty switched on culture.
Well, what you got to remember
they know
is
about the afterlife.
Yeah, maybe
how
they
many,
do.
How many
maybe
cultures are still mummifying and stuff like that? Why do they do that?
Why do they do that? All these tombs are around about, this Valley of the Kings was around about the same time. It's something like, I'm going to guess, 15th dynasty to the 20th dynasty. There was only a certain time. Remember, the pyramids were built in the 4th dynasty. This is thousands of years before Seti came along, and they weren't building pyramids anymore. They're distinct. They're two distinct times. I think to conflate them together is what our brain does when you think, Egypt. When you think of Egypt, you just think of one culture. And yes, it was one geographic place. But what they did in the 4th dynasty with the Pyramid of Giza, or the Pyramids of Giza, which have no hieroglyphics, no markings, no actual found burial. There's something that resembles a sarcophagus, but that's just us saying that. And then you go to the 18th dynasty, for example, this one, and it's completely different. They're burying, they are tombs because we found, for example, Tutankhamun's body.
Yes.
And long story short.
Carved into the limestone in the Valley of the Kings.
Yes. And one reason they picked the Valley of the Kings is there is a natural pyramidic formation of rock it looks like a big pyramid that is above the Valley of the Kings. So if you look at it from a distance, yes. So they didn't have to build a pyramid. They could.
Wait, that doesn't make any sense.
They just liked pyramids.
I would too.
You have to use your imagination a little bit.
Okay.
I'd like to see I could. I took from that side of it. So that thing you're looking at there. I think that was I think that thing was commissioned and built by Nefrititi.
Well, this thing here.
Yeah, that's on the way into the Valley of the Kings.
That's wild.
And they removed all her artwork from it, anything depicting her.
Interesting.
I'll show you. There's a mountain. It's essentially, it looks. This is what I was told by the Egyptian guide when I went there. Say that one reason they picked the Valley of the Kings is its remoteness, but the other thing is that the land's natural formation has something that is a bit.
Yeah, I can see
like
a
natural
bit of
pyramid.
I can see a little bit of that. Interesting.
Oh, but long story short, I didn't go to Tutankhamun's tomb because that's a shitty tomb. Seti 1 is the epic tomb. So I could have paid to go to the famous one that isn't so impressive.
Yes.
That everyone knows of it, or you go to see the real deal.
Yeah.
And it's hot as shit in those tombs as well, despite them being underground. The ventilation's terrible.
Yeah.
And you're in a desert.
What was the climate like?
Oh, it was 45 degrees and dry.
I don't mean when you were there. What about when they were building it?
It was still a desert in those times as well.
3,500 BC.
Yeah. I think once you go past
Even
like
in
another
the earliest
10,000.
parts, it's still
Yeah, I think once you get right back, if you go back another 7,000 years on that, then you start getting in. I think the climate was quite different.
Yes.
It was lush, a bit more lush, lots of rainfall.
I think I saw that one in The Scorpion King. That documentary with Dwayne Johnson in it. You know, The Rock?
Yeah. I haven't seen Scorpion King.
Yeah, he was in a documentary. Documentary.
Yeah.
About the Scorpion King. And it was pretty lush.
Factually correct?
Obviously, it's a documentary. It's Dwayne's reputation he'd be putting on the line. Speaking of things on the line, you know the UFC? Me and my friends, we've been asking for ages for the UFC to come and take our money by releasing a video game for us to play on the PC that we can pay money for.
Yeah,
well, no, they don't release them on PC. They only release them to console, Xbox and PS. That's it.
Really?
You can't get it on PC ever. So we've been thinking to ourselves, what is going on? Why does Dana White not like money? And I was just kicking around the internet the other night, and I found out that there's this modding community who have rebuilt arguably the greatest UFC game ever created, which is UFC Undisputed 3, which had Pride mode, which you could stomp people. It had soccer kicks, which were great fun. It had all the best knockout mechanics and stuff. They've rebuilt that from the ground up so that you can play it. So it's actually a mod for UFC Undisputed, but you need to have a copy of the game. I think a PlayStation version. And so it's a mod, and it's all current fighters. So every fighter on the roster, more or less, on the UFC roster is in this game. Yeah. So you can play UFC
so you play it on your
computer.
PC.
Yeah.
But you need the PlayStation game.
Yeah, because you'd need to be emulating a PlayStation, and then it's a mod for that.
Wow.
Not to get into the technical side of it. It is pretty hard to get going. But
someone really wanted to play UFC on the PC.
Exactly, on the PC. And so it happened. And I just thought, I think it's pretty recent development. I think it's in the last 8 months or so. I'm kind of hoping that they get a sniff of this and go, hang on a sec, people want to give us money. Let's let them give us money.
Yeah,
because I'll pay for it. I don't give a shit.
Yeah. Does this guy make any money? Or this person?
He might go through donations or something. Yeah. Donations potentially. But it's just funny. It's just funny because Dana White got involved with Power Slap, UFC. The man clearly likes money. I've seen him gambling. He
sold UFC for billions of dollars.
Yeah, it still works there. Yeah. Still getting paid to be the president as well. Interesting. Just crazy.
I think they might get to that. They might get to a video game, PC game, yeah.
Just sorted out already. Just wanted to chuck that in there.
We'll sponsor it. We'll sponsor it on the show. Oh, wait, we'll sponsor it. No, they'll sponsor it. We'll market it. Right. I reckon that you might be able to get you might be able to sell one unit off the game.
Right.
Yeah.
So they should pay us for that. Maybe a couple of bash.
Yeah, a couple of bash. I think a Power Slap video game would go all right.
It already exists. It's on the mobile. You should download it. I'll download it, and we'll compare stats next week, and we'll have a slap fight live on the show.
Is it
next
free?
Week? Yeah, it's free. No, next week, right? We'll have our Power Slap fighters face off in a Power Slap face off championship. My character versus your character. Give us a week to prepare. Call it training camp. See you next week.
On the mobile, is it more of an execution thing, or do I have to train up my character? Okay.
I haven't seen it. Yeah. It'll be just like it'll be like one of those ones where it's like, you've used all your energy. Come back in 20 minutes and press train. It'll be one of those ones.
Oh, shit.
But maybe we'll set up a big fight.
Yeah.
Maybe we won't.
I'm probably not going to train, but
there's some AFL, ex-AFL players who have punching on soon. Have you seen about this? Have you heard tell of this?
No, it's nothing to do with Barry Hall.
No, Kane Cornes is boxing
Kane
Jonathan
Cornes?
Brown.
Kane Cornes is
Not
boxing.
Jonathan Brown. Nathan Brown from the show.
Oh, yeah.
That footy show that they're on. Nathan Brown.
Okay, yeah, they do sports bet. They do a show every week. They talk about, they're very good friends.
Yeah. But they're going to have a boxing fight.
When's that?
It's called The Gathering.
A lot of people will want Kane Cornes to get his head knocked off. He's quite inflammatory. He's great. He's a great presenter. He's very good.
Yeah. He just often likes to ruffle some feathers up, and
I think he's often right as well. He supports all his theories with a lot of explanation. Sounds great. Sounds very logical.
Yeah.
He doesn't just shoot from the hip like me, say things and have no idea where he's going with it. Nothing to back it up. It's just a feeling I had.
Mitch Robinson's fighting.
Who's Mitch Robinson? Oh,
he used to play for
Brisbane. Yeah,
he's fighting Kane Pettifer. Do you know who that is? Did he play football
name's
once?
Familiar as well. I'm not sure if Mitch Robinson.
Dane Swan's fighting Dale Thomas.
Is this just all AFL fighters?
Anthony Rocker is fighting Corey McKernan.
So
there's a few. There's a few.
Yeah.
The rest, I think, the most of the rest of them are actual boxers, and the main event is a real boxing fight. So, when the celebs sort of get in there and, they do that sort of black tie boxing stuff as well, usually for charity or whatever, it's all good stuff. And, you put a bit of training in, you get out there. I think people want to see a knockout on Kane Cornes. I don't know. Still, people just want to see a knockout, right? Do you want to see a knockout?
Of Kane Cornes? Or
no, anybody. What if Rocker just goes out there and, knocks out McKernan?
I feel like a bit of a sicko, but I do like a knockout occasionally. I hope they... I don't like... you don't want them to get hurt. You don't want them to take away any lasting damage, but you also want to see the lights get switched off, because there's something about a knockout where it's so clean and it's so unusual to see someone go limp from getting hit in the head. Well, it's not unusual but it's having someone's leg buckle, like when Nagano either got knocked out, that huge punch by who was the boxer that he fought recently?
Anthony Joshua.
Yes, Anthony Joshua. That was a massive punch.
Mm.
There's something about it. Am I sick, or do most humans want to see someone get knocked out?
You're sick. We are sick.
How long are we going to be able to watch people get knocked out?
Well, where the main thing is them getting knocked out, things like power slap.
Yeah.
Not very long, you'd imagine.
Power slap feels like a regression.
Yeah, it does. But I don't know.
Because in a couple 100 years or less, you look back at these activities and they'll be like gladiators, right? Like the way we look at, gladiator combat as being barbaric.
I thought, thinking about it now, I think Gladiators is a bit barbaric, because they're doing these physical competitions against sometimes Olympians. An Olympic
so you're
wrestler.
talking about Gladiators, the show. I'm talking about gladiators in the Colosseum.
Yeah, what about them?
Well, I mean, they're chopping arms off and dying and things like that. Gladiators, the show, is that starting back up?
Yeah, they're doing it again.
I can see why they're running that back. Yeah, I can see.
I always used to love watching Gladiators when I was a kid, because first of all, it's got catchphrases, just like Survivor has good catchphrases. Like Survivor's ready, arm up, go, just like it has that. Gladiators say stuff like, "Challenger, are you ready?" And they make a signal, and they'll go, "Gladiators, are you ready?" Yeah, so now both parties are ready, presumably. And then they say 3, and it was Mike Whitney. 2, 1, crowd's going mental, and people had their favorite events. I liked Hang Tough. Do you remember that one? That was the one where you had to use the You had to use the ropes to get to the rings. You know, the rings one.
Yes.
And the band, like the gladiators, would try and get on you and rip you off the rings.
Yeah,
and
once they get a hold of you. Yeah. Have you seen someone get through that one? I don't think.
And shake them off? Maybe once. Wow. Maybe once have I seen a gladiator try and attack that, and they just maybe got overconfident and they botched it.
Is there pretty Gladiators best moments compilation?
We need a Gladiators fail compilation.
And so is it an Australian Gladiators we were watching? Is that?
Yeah, we were, because you remember him, Condor, Vulcan, what's his dick, the other guy. They were all there.
I remember Vulcan. I don't remember what's his dick. So that's coming back. I think I saw an ad for it. I think I saw it on a bus.
It is coming back, yeah. Maybe we'll watch an event. I'll just find an event.
What's an event?
Of Gladiators from 1995. Oh, I found a Hang Tough, so we're gonna watch that.
Perfect.
Let me just get my stream back up. I'm going back.
Yeah. Wow, okay. Yeah, it's all coming back to me now. Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
60 seconds. 10 points if you get to the other side.
Okay.
There's Teresa.
So she's the challenger. She's ready.
Oh, it's Fury against, because Cheetah she beat Cheetah last time. Bloody hell. Oi!
This will be quite difficult without a gladiator chasing you.
Agreed.
And all your body weight, hanging on all your body weight on one arm and swinging. Actually, is that just monkey bars? Yeah.
Well, no, because monkey bars are solid. These are rings with chains or something.
You better change direction. She needs to.
What's?
She needs to not. You need to not be linear, because.
Big boot to the face if you don't mind.
So she's just gone straight on. She's not trying to avoid her. She's just going straight into it.
Oh no. Got the legs wrapped around. Got the hooks in. See, look, she's going to get dramatic with it here. Oh no, this is terrible.
What chance do you have when you've got?
Yeah, what happens now?
Someone?
What's going to happen now?
She can't generate
You're just
any
holding
momentum.
On. I mean,
yeah.
what's the?
This is what happens every time, isn't it? Every time.
That's what happens most times. Yeah. Oh, look at the showmanship. Yeah. Look at this. Trying to put the body triangle in.
Yeah. So we need someone to actually. I don't think they'll do hang tough because it's just too difficult.
I still haven't learned how to traverse up there. I just go straight for the gladiator and have to hope for the
Oh, see, this is what I was saying. She just went straight at
went
it.
Straight for her.
I was like, you got to move laterally somehow. It would be quite difficult.
Nellie's very quick on the eliminator.
Are you allowed to strike? So
kick him in the face.
Yeah,
definitely.
give her a big
I think
fly
you should
kick.
always start with a big kick in the face.
Yeah.
Is there anyone else who's going to try and hang tough, or is that it? Oh.
She's got the gymnastic whiz kid, Blade.
Oh. Remember this one? Blade?
No, I don't. Nellie Baker, 25. So this was
Blade.
in 95.
Nellie Baker, you won't remember.
No, she's the competitor. Okay. I definitely don't remember Blade.
Really? She'd be a gymnast, like an Olympic gymnast.
They're both ready.
All right, so.
Oh, so she's
What are we
gone
gonna
off. She's gone off to the side.
She can just wait. Like, Blade can just wait to see which way you go and then pick you up. Oh, she's got to get to the red rings in the middle to get half the points. Oh, got ya. You're dead.
Good night.
See, like, what are you going to do? What happens?
Though, right?
What do you do now?
Does she get some points?
Punch her. Oh, she's free.
What?
She's actually away
Look,
here.
the crowd is
no,
going
she's
wild.
back. Oh, no,
Oh.
she's back. Oh, no. Yeah, kick her.
Oh, she's
Kill
getting
her.
the gladiator now. Wait, what?
And they both go down.
Did the... Oh, no, that was the...
And
I
she's
thought
probably
that-
killed her then.
I thought, sorry, that the tables
How did she
had
get
turned.
away? Like, at the moment, Blade wasn't holding a ring.
You know what?
Oh,
you know
no.
what? I think Blade may have just thrown that. I think there's some
Oh,
match
really? And
fixing
she couldn't
going on.
capitalise on it? Yeah.
Oh,
she's fucked her
injured.
up.
Shit. They landed on a giant pillow.
Yeah, let's see if... Oh, no.
I just feel really bad that she's hurt herself.
You can't really see the injury all that well, but you can imagine it would do some damage. They look quite concerned.
On the outside of her ankle, and we'll have to put her through a fitness test. Depending on how
She's got an ankle sprain. I think they just put you down for that nowadays.
to compete in the eliminator.
Okay, well, we'll leave her in your safe hands. You right,
Yeah, right.
Well, that was exciting. And you said no one ever gets away. Someone got away,
But didn't.
but not for very
not
long.
really, not for very long.
No.
No.
I think you have to
was-
punch him in the face, don't you? I think that's your best bet, is to just start wailing on him.
I mean, that should be your first course of action in most situations. Go for the jugular. I mean, there's
Yeah.
a reason why people say go for the jugular.
Yeah.
Right? It's not just a saying; it's a way of life. Well, you're a sitting duck otherwise. Kill or be killed.
Yeah.
That's also another saying. Another old adage.
And what's your point? Is that they're there for a reason?
Well, offense is the best form of attack.
Kill him.
I was down on the Bibbulmun track on the weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Are you familiar with the Bibbulmun track?
Yeah, we've talked about it before. You've been
1,000
down it before.
kilometres. I've done bits and pieces. I got lost on it once at the beginning of it.
Yeah.
I was doing the section from Walpole to Peaceful Bay.
Yeah, and that sounds just lovely.
Oh, it was amazing. Valley of the Giants down there?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, how are they?
It goes past Valley of the Giants, so you can do that treetop walk if you want. But I mean, I'd been walking in the trees for about 2 days at that point. I wasn't really that interested in more walking.
Uh-huh.
And also, I didn't really want to pay money for just walking in the trees. I had been walking through the forest for a day and a half.
Yeah, and then what happens? People ask for money.
They asked for money. Yeah, they've monetized it now. They've got the walkway
Oh, cool.
through the tall trees, which is, I've done it many years ago. It's quite nice.
That does sound nice. I've done something similar. I've done treetop walks in sort of northern Queensland, which you can imagine
Okay.
being in a rainforest would be quite lovely.
Yeah.
And it is. Yeah, no, it is quite nice.
Northern Queensland. Whereabouts?
Sort of like, have you ever heard of fucking Cairns? You heard of that place?
Yeah.
It's
I'm
up
not
there.
familiar. I'm actually not familiar with it in that
Yeah.
sort of, why fucking Cairns?
What do you mean? Well, I was with the ex-girlfriend and the parents, and we were driving from Townsville to Cairns, to fucking Cairns.
Okay.
And along
From
the
Townsville,
way,
because Townsville's south of Cairns?
I believe
Fucking
so.
Cairns? Yeah.
Fucking
Because Cairns is quite north, very
is.
north.
It
There's only
is.
like
It
one,
is.
I think there's one smaller town, one or two above that.
no, but you get up there and there's a casino and stuff, and it's grass and banana plantations all the whole way between the two places.
Oh, they love a good banana in Cairns.
fucking Cairns.
I did a triathlon
Yeah.
in Cairns. Did a
Yeah.
half Ironman there.
Did you?
It's nice. Highly recommend it if you're ever thinking about it. I
yeah,
didn't do
yeah.
the treetop walk. No.
No. No, it's
But
just
no.
amazing how the temperature is when you're under the canopies. It's 15 degrees cooler in there, and then you get out and you're like, oh fuck, there's the real world again. Yeah, 15
sun.
degrees hotter. Yep, sun.
That old chestnut. Yeah, well, I was feeling it because this walk I was doing, the temperature was quite nice this weekend, actually. Well, at least down south it was. It was overcast and low 20s.
Yeah.
And you need that because even though we were beneath a canopy, you heat up we're carrying about, 13 to 15 kilos of gear.
Yep.
It's hard work. It was far more exhausting than I thought it was going to be.
Well, and how many kilometers do you walk?
On the first day, we started around midday and we did 18 Ks.
Yep.
From Walpole to Franklin River Hut.
Yep.
And then the next day, we double hutted. So they normally have a hut every around 16 kilometres, I'm going to say.
What's a hut?
On the Bibbulmun, a hut, so you can stay. They've built a hut along. So the
what
Bibbulmun
happens
track,
if someone's in the hut?
There's also some tent sites nearby. So they build the hut with some tables and a water tank. And the hut it's open. It's open. It's just like, it's almost a building with only two walls. It's like a big square, two walls, and then the other two walls are open to the
and how often did you say these are on the track?
About 16 Ks. That's what they expect you to walk very casually in one day. Yeah. So if you do the whole Bibbulmun track in with 16 Ks a day, I think you do it in just over 60 days. You do it in about 2 months.
What? That's to do the whole thing, though.
Yeah, it's one of the biggest tracks. It's one of the biggest walk trails in the world. So I'm just going to fact check that. So 16, well, let's go 1,000 divided by 16. Yeah, 62 and a half days. But then on our second day, what is called in the industry as a double hut. We double hutted it. So we did 32 kilometres to Ram's Head Hut. And that was, I realised that double hutting is not a good idea.
No, is that bad, is it?
It was really hard. It was actually 32 kilometres of hiking with gear is actually way harder than I thought it was going to be. I mean, and also I'm not really conditioned for this kind of work. So I was getting, you get blisters. I bought some new hiking shoes before I left. I hadn't really worn in that much.
Wow.
So it was a little difficult, but very beautiful.
Yeah, nice.
And then when you come back, the whole reason you do it is then you appreciate all the niceties you have. When you just you can cook a steak and go for a swim, sleep in a nice bed.
That's why you do it?
I think that's half the reason I do it.
Right.
You go through a little bit of adversity.
Yeah.
And afterwards, on the other side,
all the things.
Can't you just
imagine it and go,
no, you can't.
That would have been hard.
Not properly. You take things for granted, everything you take for granted.
Yes. And
then if you just go without for a little bit, it's just like this gentle reminder. You're like, how the fuck did people survive like this?
One day when the fucking nuclear apocalypse happens and you're out there eating rats and living in a tent, you're going to go, man, I used to go out for weekends and do this for fun sometimes. I used to walk 32 kilometers just to do this, just to be in a tent out here in nature so that I can, really appreciate that steak and shower when I get home. And now I'm out here in the nuclear wasteland dreaming of a shower and a steak and wondering why I wasted my time.
Maybe I'm preparing for an apocalyptic event.
You were preparing. I think we've got to the root of it there. I think you weren't trying to appreciate the life you have now. You're trying to prepare for the eventuality that it all goes bad and you're back to, if I had to live, can I do this survival thing? And the answer is
no, not at all.
Yeah.
I realise how vulnerable I am.
I'd get there day one. I'd be like, where do you plug the Xbox in out here? That's day one.
Or even eating. You take freeze-dried meals along and you've got this little canister of gas and a jet boiler and you put your water in. Firstly, you're getting the water from a rainwater tank that are at the huts. So yeah, you can get water from a stream, but it's, got pesticides.
Look, I don't think that in the event of a nuclear sort of all-out nuclear war, I don't think the Bibbulmun's going to be maintained by that point. I don't think they're going to be...
But the rainwater tanks, it won't be maintained, but they will continue producing. They'll be a source of fresh water.
That's not your plan, though, is it? Your plan isn't to just hit the Bibbulmun if it all goes to shit. I know the terrain. I know where it is.
Well, it might not be the worst idea in that when society is breaking down in the cities,
the tracks are going to be really important.
Well, yeah, it might be dangerous to be around these areas which are going to be controlled by whoever's the toughest guy in the neighborhood. And when things start going wrong, when people are running out of sugar, right, and they're making a tea, and they come down the road and they kick in the door with a shotgun because they want some sugar, because they're not going to be nice anymore. No one's going to care about, feelings, and they're going to be like, I want some sugar and I'm going to take some sugar.
Yeah.
And I don't really have any sweet potatoes at the back, if you know what I mean. Like, There's going to be no food. There's going to be no food. What are we going to do?
That's what I mean. You're going to have to eat the rats.
I saw a dead rat on the track. Like, not even the wildlife were eating it. Maybe they left it for me. But you realise how fucked you are, because I'm getting water from a rainwater tank.
Right.
I put it through a filter in a water bottle. But the filter has about 600 uses until it's clogged up.
Yes, true.
So that thing is it's got a finite life on it.
Correct.
And then I put it into my jet boiler and I'm using butane, which has a finite life.
Correct.
All this technology is just fucking useless.
Right, so you need to come up with what tools you need that you can keep that will last, that you don't need anything for.
It's the whole Jesus thing, teach a man to fish.
Is that a Jesus thing?
Isn't it? Yeah, you teach a man to fish and he'll never have it.
Proverb. I think it's just a proverb.
Jesus just get 4 fish and feed everyone.
If you give me a fish and a bit of bread,
I'll feed everyone. I'll do the rest. Yeah.
Hey, don't you want to teach us how to fish? Nonsense, my dear boy.
Mate, just give me the fish.
Yeah. There was a guy.
I forgot about miracles.
Standing on the side
miracles,
going,
of course.
He was standing on the side going, if you teach a man to fish, then he'll never go hungry again. And Jesus was like, hey, everybody, check this out. And then just starts raining fish out of his robes. He just starts producing fish just out of nowhere. And everyone goes, well, shut up, old man over here, talking that garbage about learning how to fish. Why do you need to learn how to fish when this guy's just
I want Jesus' bulk fish, bulk-free fish. Don't ask any questions. I don't want to know how you do it. Just keep producing.
Yeah, exactly. But that's good. Bring back to Jesus, being Easter. Bring it back to Jesus.
Old Jesus H. Christ.
Mm-hmm. Which we still don't know maybe it's Horatio.
Could be. He could have been the first Horatio. I was driving down to Walpole and I passed a accommodation / restaurant in Bridgetown, and it had a picture of a man with an eye patch wearing Admiralty gear. Looked like he was in colonial England times, and the place was called none other than Nelson's.
Yep.
Old Horatio. He's back again, 5th episode in a row.
Yeah, man. He just keeps punching well above his weight, doesn't he? Old Horatio.
I didn't realise how influential this guy was. He's everywhere.
Yeah. I wonder if there's many things named after him.
Nelson's of Bridgetown Hotel. They can sponsor if they want.
Yep. Fort Nelson, the place is called Nelson, Mount Nelson, Nelson's Head, Nelson Island, Nelson's Island, Nelson's Dockyard, Lord Nelson Hotel, Fort Nelson, Nelson Place West, Nelson Garden, Bellman, Mount Nelson Hotel, Cape Town. That was just a whole bunch of words, but there's a few things named after him.
I'm just wondering why this place was called Nelson's. Brief history. The main building was built in the 1890s and was used by various owners as a hotel between 1899 and 1904. These included J.S. Warner, hence the original name Warner Hotel. It was known that Mr. Crawford was the licensee of the Freemasons Hotel, 1905. Yes. It always comes back to Freemason stuff, doesn't it? And so no one else can assume that he took the Warner license to the Freemasons. What? The building had numerous owners and occupiers. Get to the point. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. At the end of 1988, the Bridgetown Motel was bought by... Why are they going to all this Freemason stuff before that?
Just chuck it in.
Motel was bought by Graham Donovan, who soon became affectionately known as Basil, from in brackets Faulty Towers.
Okay.
He quickly developed Nelson's dining room, which became famous for its fine food and fun and friendly service. Basil hosted many Christmases in July, murder mysteries, and Faulty Tower weekends.
Oh, that would have been great.
At Nelson's, for which the motel became quite well known. That doesn't really explain why it was Nelson's.
Well, yeah, are you just reading the entire history of this pub?
Well, I'm skipping bits.
We need to know the part about Nelson.
The first explorer into the area was Thomas Turner.
We don't know.
I think I'm getting to the crux. No, I'm not. No.
We don't know.
There's no reason for it, actually.
Probably
it's just the history. I thought
him.
that, he just liked it. It's a bit like me. I just picked Nelson as the last name.
Yeah, it's a bit like that. It's a bit the same.
It's a bit like my mum just picked Nelson as a password for the video store.
We still don't know.
Reason.
Well, we don't know. It could have been a reason.
It could have been her sort of, on the side lover or something. Old Nelson.
Well, yeah.
But you don't use that when your children are going to come home and hey,
ask
Mum,
you what the password
what's the
is.
password? And she's shit. I've revealed my.
It's my lover. That is all we've got time for.
That's unbelievable. I can't believe that's an hour and a half. I mean, we didn't cover anything, but
the watch never lies.
No, you're right. In 1 week's time, we will be covering the American Great Solar Eclipse, which will be only hours away.
What are we reporting on it before it happens or after it happens?
Oh, because that episode won't come out till afterwards. No, we'll talk about it because 40 more. We've talked about this, but 44 million people live in the path of totality. Live there. It's going to be the most watched solar eclipse of all time.
Yeah, it's an exciting time to be a solar eclipse person.
And apparently there's a lot of warnings.
Don't fuck it up.
About that, apparently there's a lot of false, fake, counterfeit solar glasses.
Of course there are
about.
people trying to make a quick buck. Don't look. Just
Apparently they're everywhere. Safety is important when looking at the sun, so look into it.